I'm Kath, the Organic Crafter. Welcome to my video today, which is all about making layers easy. I work with standard A4 cardstock, and I know where the halfway lines are that I use. I've drawn them here so that you can see them. So halfway along the long side that I use is 14.9. Halfway along the short side that I use is 10.5. I know those measurements thoroughly, so I don't even have to think about them. When I'm starting with a piece of cardstock, I cut in one direction, score in the other. Both ways give me exactly the same thing, except the folds on the long side or the short side. For example, this is one that I scored at 10.5 and I cut at 14.9. It gives me the fold along the long side. This is another one. I scored this one at 14.9 and cut it at 10.5. This one gives me the fold along the short side. They're exactly the same size, it's just a matter of where the fold goes, so where my opening is. Now that I know that, it makes layering of my cards easy. Let me show you. This is a standard card front for me, 10.5 by 14.9. Now most often, my next layer, I want to have just a narrow border around it. So I take 5 centimetres off each direction, which means this layer is 10 centimetres by 14.4. And if I want another layer, I can do exactly the same thing. If I want another narrow border all the way around the edge, another half a centimetre off in each direction. So this layer is 9.5 by 13.9. Let's carry on. Taking it down to the next layer. Again, 9 centimetres by 13.5, another half a centimetre off, and I can keep going as long as I want. This is the last layer size I'm going to show you, 8.5 by 12.9. So each layer for this narrow border is taking half a centimetre off. Now that I know that and I have that in my head and I have my examples, I can do lots of different things. So for example, if I want my first layer to be a little one and my second layer to be a small one, I know I can put it on like this, and I've got a narrow border and a bigger border, and they're going to be the same size all the way around. So I have these as a resource for myself so that I can see what sizes I need to cut my layers. Of course, if I want my card base around that way, it's still exactly the same because it's just turned the other way round. I use these as a resource for myself so I don't have to think about layer measurements. I can just focus on creating a card. I've got a couple of cards here I wanted to show you. Here's the two. They're exactly the same, almost. So this one has 2 layers, both with that 1/2 centimetre that's split between, I've trimmed it to 1/2 centimetre, and this one is that bigger one that I just showed you. So this layer is 10 by 14.9. This layer is 8.5 by 12.9. I know that sounds like a lot of numbers, but as I just said, having my resource, I can see what size I want, and I have them on my samples, and that's just what I know I can do. Now, one thing I like with using a layer like this is, because my white layer is going to go on top, I can cut out a piece from my bottom layer, and because it's designer series paper, in this case I flipped it over. That's exactly what I've done with both of those, and so it gives me double use of my underneath layer, because I can cut it out and just use it to give the front of my card a bit of a lift. One last little hint: when you're trimming down your layers, you get left with all sorts of bits and pieces. Now, I know some people throw those out. I tend to keep them, to use them for things like mounting my sentiments on and just doing little trim pieces. Sometimes, like this one, they get a bit small and I may not keep that one, but the others I do tend to, and I have a container where I hold my strips in and I use them. That's how I work on layers, by having a resource to let me make my layers without having to think too much, and then I can spend my energy creating my cards, just like these. I hope you found this useful. If you want to track these sizes, I will have it on my blog. If you go to organiccrafter.stampinup.net and look for the blog post called Layers, I'll have all of these dimensions listed there, so you can perhaps make your own resource to help you create what you love and share it. This is Kath, your organic crafter.